All right, people, here is our Module 1-2 review. We're going to be doing this as our last test of the semester. I know it says Module 1 and 2, but it is our last test of the semester with the way we've ordered our units. So I'm going to get started and get through it as quick as possible so that you guys have as much time as possible to work on the second review in class as this is your example. All right, so first one, straightforward. You're looking for zeros and ones. You're going to make a 0 with the 10, subtract 10 from both sides. And then remember, if you have 15 negatives and you have 10 negatives, that's 25 negatives. So divide by 5, and you have z equals -5. Make sure you're using a calculator on the test if you're struggling with the positives and negatives, and that way you won't make those mistakes. Okay, what two properties are used in the following for the solution? Okay, so we have 5b minus 10 equals 20, and then the next step gets to 5b equals 30. Well, that would be the addition property of equality. I'm just going to abbreviate everything. And then the next step, you would go from 5b equals 30 to b equals 6. That would be the division property of equality. All right, so number 3, we have kind of a 3-step equation here. You have y on both sides of our equal sign, which means to get it on one side, we need to subtract one of the y's. Okay, so we're going to take either the 3y and we're going to subtract it from both sides, or we're going to take the 4y and subtract it from both sides. Neither one is wrong, but only one will give you a positive y value, which is a little bit easier to deal with later on. So we're going to subtract 3y from both sides, and you have 2 equals 1y, minus 10. And then you can add 10 to both sides, and you get 12 equals y. And our answer is 12 equals y. All right, next one. We need to distribute first. And so you've got 4y minus 16. Do not distribute to the -3 because it is not inside the parentheses, so it's still just -3, okay? And then we can combine like terms. 4y minus 19 equals 29. Add 19 to both sides of our equation, and then you have 4y equals, and that's going to be 18, carry our 1, and we have 48. And then 48 is divisible by 4, and we get y equals 12. Okay. All right, next up. Decide if each statement is true or false. -15 is less than -4. The answer is true. Think about it on the number line. The number line, if you have 0 in the middle, okay, and we have -4 right about here, well, -15 would be down here, meaning it's less than 4. All right, -3 is less than -12, so here's where -3 would be. And then we have -12 somewhere over here. Well, -3 is greater than -12, so this is false. And then -4 is greater than or equal to -4. That is true. It satisfies the equal to. And 0 is greater than 2. That is false. Okay. What best describes the solutions for x is greater than or equal to 5? All real numbers greater than 5. All real numbers less than or equal to 5. Or all real numbers greater than or equal to 5? Well, it is greater than or equal to. So when you have this sign right here, okay, this is your greater than. This is the equal to. Okay. All right. To rent a car, that should be to rent a car. In California, you must be at least 25 years old. What are the possible ages of those who can rent a car? So if we want to represent on a number line, we're going to go 25. And then you must be at least 25, so that actually includes 25. So we're going to have a closed circle at 25. And then it's anybody that's older than 25. Okay, and then for an algebraic model, you would say x, or the ages, is greater than or equal to 25. All right, the air pressure in car tires needs to be more than 30 psi, but less than 33 psi. So we have 30, and then we have 33, and it needs to be more than 30, so we're not actually including 30, and it needs to be less than 33, so it's in between the two. And our algebraic model would look like this. 30 is less than x, which is less than 33. So it's in between, okay? All right, we're 5 minutes in. All right, last page here. Okay, so a lot of people look at this problem and they go, oh, well, it's pointing this way, so it should be shading that way. Well, that's not necessarily true. It depends on which side of the number line you are on, okay? Or it depends on which side the variable is on in your inequality here. So we have -4, and the question is 0 gonna make this statement true, or is 0 gonna make it false? So if we substitute 0 in here, and we're going to have an open circle at -4 because there's no equal to sign under it. And we want to know, do we shade over here or do we shade over here? So if we put in 0 for x, is -4 less than 0? If this statement is true, okay, that's true, that means everything up here is going to be true. Okay, and then list 3 numbers in the shaded region. Well, we know that 0 is in the shaded region. We know that 1 would be in the shaded region. And we know that 2 would be in the shaded region. Okay. Up next, we have 32 is less than -8. So divide by -8, divide by -8, and we have -4 and x. And when you divide an inequality by a negative, you would change the sign. Okay. All right, up next we have we're going to be solving our equation here. So we're going to start off with subtracting 12 from both sides. Okay. And we have x over 4 is less than -8. And then this is division here, so to undo division, you multiply. And so we have x is less than -32. Up next, we have distribution, so we're going to distribute our 7, 14x plus 7 is greater than or equal to 15x plus 3. You're going to subtract 14x from both sides. And you get 7 is greater than or equal to x plus 3. And we're almost done. We're going to subtract 3 from both sides. And we have 4 is greater than or equal to x. All right, up next. Oh, this one looks crazy, but it's not. There's just more than one side to our equation. So we're gonna have we have basically 3 sides to our equation now. We have the middle, and we have here and here. So whatever we do to the middle to get x by itself, we gotta do to out here and here. So we're gonna say add 4. Well, if I add 4 there, I have to add 4 here, and I have to add 4 here because there are multiple sides to this equation. And so now we end up with -24 is less than 12x, which is less than or equal to 48, okay? Divide by 12 on everything, and you get -2 is less than x, which is less than or equal to 4, and then we're gonna come down to our number line. We're gonna be a closed circle because I have a less than or equal to sign at 4. I don't have an equal to sign here at -2, so I'm gonna leave it open. And then we're gonna be shading in between, okay? All right, so now if we have the or statements, we have 2 equations here, you gotta solve both, or 2 inequalities here, we gotta solve both. Okay, we have 4x is less than -20, divide by 4, divide by 4. X is less than -5. So now we can graph this guy, and we have at -5 open circle, and it says x is less than -5, which is over here. And then we have our other problem, add 5 to both sides. And we have 2x is greater than 10, divide by 2. X is greater than 5. So we have an open circle. Okay. And then last but not least, Big Daddy problem. If you can do this one, you're money in the bank here. So we got 12 minus 21x equals 16 minus 6 plus 8x. So all I did to go from here to here is distribute that 3. 3 times 4 is 12. 3 times -7 is -21. -2 times 3 is -6. -2 times -4 is +8. Okay, so make sure that you are not adding and subtracting this first. Do not add and subtract that first. You'll get the problem wrong right from the beginning. Okay, so 12 minus 21x equals 10 plus 8x. And then we're going to get x on one side of the equation, so we're going to add 21x to both sides. And we've got 12 equals 10 plus 29x. Subtract 10 from both sides. And we have 2 equals 29x. Divide by 29. And our answer is 2 over 29 equals x. And it's okay to leave it as a fraction. You do not have to divide it. Leaving it as a fraction is fine with me. All right, good luck.